Well, okay, now speaking of telling you what it says, Medicaid for all. Elizabeth Warren's plan. I promised you we were going to get giving you the price tag on that. And her plan, she's finally come out with it. And remember, this has been a feature of the debates. Is this going to raise taxes on the middle class? And she says, so the way I like to look at it is for the middle class and normal people, costs are going to go down. And for anybody else, costs are going to go up. Remember that whole answer she kept giving? Well, apparently she finally put pen to paper and figured it all out. And the price tag, and let me promise you something. This price tag is low. I guarantee you this price tag is low by probably 50% or more. It's probably going to be even double this price tag when she gets done with it. $52 trillion. Trillion with a T. $52 trillion over 10 years. That is absolutely insane. That's insane. Do you know what our GDP is every year? It's only about 20 or 21 trillion a year. So she's talking about we're going to spend a quarter of our GDP on that, on Medicaid for all. I mean, and by the way, her plan to pay for it, this is a great plan. She's going to hike 20 trillion, now this again, over 10 years, 20 trillion in taxes on who? On the top 1%, on employers, on evil corporations.
And that's why you have to demonize corporations so that everybody buys into all of this.
Yeah, but come on, guys. This is simple economic reality. You guys know what happens, don't you? You tax these employers. What are they going to have to do?
Try to rent a moving van right now. You can't get one because all the millionaires and billionaires have rented them already. They're all gone.
They're going to Costa Rica.
You can't get a moving truck.
And they've got a lot of stuff to move.
Right. This is going to be a huge jobs killer. You cannot jack the taxes up on these corporations. You think where are they going to get the money to pay for it? They're going to have to start cutting jobs, and it's going to be a downward spiral because as they cut jobs and benefits and other things, they're going to begin to not be able to produce as much. So now they're not going to make as much. Taxes are going to strangle. I remember an old phrase from when I was coming up in the libertarian and conservative thought movement, and that is the power to tax is the power to destroy. And that is so true. The power to tax is the power to destroy. And if you want to destroy corporations and you want to destroy employers, then saddle them with $20 trillion of new taxes over the next 10 years. Do that and see what happens. Because, people think they have a right to these different things. I have a right to health services. I have a right to food. I have a right to a living wage. I have rights. Well, guess what? What happens when there's no business around to employ you? Who's going to give you your living wage? I guess it's going to be Andrew Yang's gang. They're going to say, just take some money. Here, we're just going to give you money. But don't you understand that this is going to cause the entire economic order to break down? It's going to cause the entire system of supply and demand that regulates how we interact with each other economically. It's going to destroy it. It's going to mean money is not worth anything. It's monopoly money. It's fake money. So what's going to happen? You give everybody an extra $1,000 a month or give them an extra $10,000. What does it matter? Why stop there? Why are you being so cheap, Andrew Yang? Why only $1,000? Why don't you give them $1 million a month?
If any of those candidates ever said everybody is going to pay their fair share, you think they'd be elected?
Well, that's what they like to say, that fair share. What does that mean? Everything. That's your fair share. Open your wallet. We'll take it all.
The more you have, the more we'll take.
That's it. Now, I read some other interesting statistics because, guys, I just want you to think about this. Everything that government touches, it destroys. It destroys it. Every industry it touches. So we're talking about destroying our entire healthcare system in this country. And we've already done a pretty good job. We're probably 80% of the way there already with all of the government regulations and with the Affordable Care Act, which isn't affordable and nobody cares. That's, so now, remember when they were trying to pass the Affordable Care Act and they were like, well, you're going to have to pass it to find out what's in it. And, oh, by the way, we're going to pass it, and it's not really going to take effect for 4 or 5 years because we need to get the insurance companies a whole bunch of money on the front end because they're about to really get taken advantage of on the back end, et cetera, et cetera. And what winds up happening is we all wind up paying more. And we don't just wind up paying more for our premiums, but now when we go to actually use our health insurance, what's called alleged health insurance, Your deductible's like $5,000. I mean, remember when your deductible was like $500 or $1,000, something that you could actually hope to hit on a yearly basis?
$10,000.
Yeah, well, now the deductibles are, you can't even get to them. So what's the point of even having the insurance? Now, one of the interesting statistics that I read as part of this is that there are currently 87 million Americans who are uninsured or without adequate health insurance. Now, I remember when they were talking about the Affordable Care Act and they were talking about how many uninsured Americans we had, and it was in like the 20 to 30 million people range. So how have we tripled that number? We're now at almost 90 million people, almost a third of our country doesn't have adequate health insurance or are uninsured. So you're telling me that the government has fixed something? You're telling me that the Affordable Care Act has helped people, has done anything good for us? No, it hasn't, because everything the government touches, it destroys. Why? Because they are a monopoly. They don't have a profit motive. You've got a bunch of unelected bureaucrat regulators who are in charge, and they're not responsible to make a profit or else they go out of business like a normal business is, and there's no competition. It's not like you can say, I don't want to be a part of that. No, whether you like it or not, you're going to be stuck in the Medicaid for all system. It's going to be terrible. I'm telling you. And I don't, by the way, I don't think there's any chance the lying Pocahontas Warren, I almost called her Liawatha, but the lying Pocahontas Warren has a shot at getting elected president. I mean, I just pray for that. If she gets elected president, I may have to move and do the Morgan Streetman show remotely from somewhere else, because this country is going to be absolutely destroyed.
In 6 years, Costa Rica will let you in.
For now, I guess I'll have to move to Belize or something. This country is going to be absolutely destroyed by these stupid, wrong-headed communist and socialist policies that they want to put in place, including Medicaid for all and the Green New Deal. By the way, I also saw the price tag on the Green New Deal is almost $100 trillion over 10 years. I mean, what are these people thinking? And by the way, when they get rid of gasoline engines, how are we going to do any commerce? How are we going to ship goods across the country? How's your Amazon truck going to show up at your front door? Hello?
Algae.
Well, that's right. They'll just will a new technology into existence by force of Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's willpower. Not only will you not be allowed to Instagram around her neighborhood in New York because she doesn't want you there, and that's in some of the articles we've looked at, but now she's going to will into existence a new algae-based, non-polluting electrical engine or something like that.
You know, they are working on that.
Well, and they should be. I mean, it would be great to find another technology other than, fossil fuels. I think it would be fantastic to find another way to run an engine to create energy. I would love to see us come up with some kind of 0-point energy technology. I just say, look, to date, if we have come up with it, it's been bought up by the oil companies and suppressed, okay, if we've come up with it. But as far as I'm aware, we haven't actually come up with a working technology that can replace the internal combustion engine at this time.
What happened to that peanut oil idea that was out? The cooking oil.
That. Mm-hmm.
That was so strong a few years back, and all of a sudden it disappeared.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. People would be going, the biofuels and stuff. Yeah, I remember seeing that. And what exactly happened with that? I mean, look, what happens to your car? I mean, did you see your gas mileage go down when they started putting 10% ethanol on everything? You know why they got that special gas pump there for you to use to get tool fuel, to get fuel for your riding lawnmower and your weed eater and stuff like that? Because you can't put that ethanol crud in there. It cruds up the engine. That's what it does, because it's not an efficient fuel source. So,
that's what we have to look forward to.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't think they have any shot at getting into power, but I'm really amazed at the penetration of their ideas into the populace. I mean, people are not remembering. We've already fought this battle with communism, socialism, democratic, whatever you want to call it. These are all different flavors of the same ice cream. This is the same stuff that we already fought a battle against. That's what the entire 20th century was basically about, was us fighting that battle. And we almost lost it. I mean, it was very close to communism taking over the entire world, including our own country, back in the 1930s and 1940s. But we were able to defeat it because people understood. They understood economic realities. They understood the idea of supply and demand and financial incentives. And if you make it more expensive for businesses to operate, it's like the book Atlas Shrugged. All the producers, all the creators, all the business people, they'll just leave. They will leave and go somewhere else. And then who's going to give you a job? Then who's going to give you money? Then how are you going to go to McDonald's? McDonald's isn't going to be there anymore. And not just because its CEO is having a little bit of fun on the side with his employees, apparently. This will be real. And, your right to health care, what if the doctors were all gone? I mean, I know if I was a doctor, I'd have to think about going somewhere. These are things you need to think about before you go voting for these maniacs. Thank you for listening to the Morgan Streetman Show. We hope you enjoyed what you heard, and if you did, please click like and subscribe to help us out. And remember that we recommend that you exercise your brain at least once a week.